Let's get ready to rumble. It's week 17, championship weekend. Where are you at? If you're not at the championship, you're at home. You're on the bench. You looking forward to next season. You're researching rookies for the draft. You're doing a whole bunch of things, but if you're in it, you're here to win it. Trav, how you looking? How is championship week looking for you? We've got a jam-packed show, ready to talk some football, some fantasy. Let's win some trophies.
It's going to be quite the stressful weekend, but that's a good thing. That means that you've made it far in a lot of places.
Damn
The
right.
trolls in general, the trolls is what we call our closest group of advisors, made up of Dustin, Eric, Jacob Fabian, and Ben Imlay.
Damn right.
The trolls have assembled for a couple years now, and there are a lot of rings to be had this week. Proud to say it, proud to be a part of that group, proud to be a part of Losing Sucks, the end of our third season, just like that. 119 episodes, I believe.
Something like that. Something dark side football. Yeah, it's exciting, man. I unfortunately lost a couple tight ones last week, but I am facing you in a championship. That is exciting.
Finally, we face each other at the same time.
That's going to, yeah, because when we normally face each other, it's not at the same time.
I mean, in the playoffs.
But yeah, I'm excited about this. It's got me thinking. I just want to take a quick minute to tilt a little bit, but also just to kind of I don't know. I want to go on a little bit of a diatribe about the fantasy playoffs because I feel like this isn't like I have a dream speech, but I feel like the playoffs can do better. I feel like we as a fantasy community can do better than just, hey, my guys happen to play better this week than yours. You know, there's got to be a more equitable way. You know, there's got to be a way that, look, if my guys have been killing it all season, okay?
Yes.
One bad week and then you're gone. I don't know. I feel like something.
It's an easy fix. An easy fix. Playoffs should be, at least the final four, I think, should be 2 weeks each round.
I agree.
Shorten the regular season. Give the teams that are really good after 12 or 13 weeks a 2-week playoff, semifinal and final.
You know what, we do it really well in a league that I've been in for a while, is that you get to the playoffs. Playoffs start after week 15, and everybody who's made the playoffs is in. You are in this not head to head. It's just whoever scores the most points over these last 4 weeks, you win. Yeah. You win the championship.
It feels too fickle the way it is right now.
Yeah, it's you could have the best team. And you know what? Just before I go on a huge diatribe, when we take up the whole show talking about this, my big thing is that, okay, I'll have a down week. You know, one guy goes off, beats me, and then the rest of the playoffs, I will outscore everybody. You know, so it's like, a little bit of a,
it's not right. It doesn't feel right. We should push for that. We should talk about it all off season.
Look, we
Bob
went from
Fred makes
standard to PPR.
his first live appearance.
Welcome, Bob. Yeah, I see that little X on your name. I'm glad to see the X comments coming through now.
Bob is in many of our leagues, a great league member. If you're in a league with Bob, you are lucky. And
for sure.
He makes a good point.
Yeah.
The top 4 should make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
People are going to be like, the get off my lawn people are going to be like, don't change it.
It's the way
I'm one of those guys, standard versus PPR. I don't like to change it, but it doesn't make logical sense. PPR does not make logical sense. 4 teams making the playoffs and having the incentive and letting them have the reward of a 2-week playoff per round makes logical sense. Maybe we do a league like that next year.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards getting into more leagues where I'm just commissioning cool leagues. I think that's more fun for me sometimes. I'm tired of getting my ass kicked at the end of the year. But look, before we
wait, you're not saying take away the head-to-head. Erich is wanting to clarify.
Oh wait, are you like at the end of the playoffs?
I think playoffs should still be head-to-head. even the regular season should be head-to-head.
I'm
That's what
for
makes it
either.
fun.
I'm for either making head-to-head matchups 2 weeks, give you more time, or
Yeah.
I'm all for making the playoffs like it is in my bigger league, where it's if you make the playoffs, you're in the playoffs, and then for those 4 weeks or whatever,
Then
you
it
just
becomes
have to
best
score.
ball?
Yeah, then it's not best ball because you still have to set a lineup. You're still invested.
Okay.
But you just have to score more than everyone else. Like that's the whole thing of fantasy. If you have a great team and they just don't perform,
I think that makes a lot of sense too. You
Yeah,
remove the head-to-head a little bit. You're
Right.
essentially going head-to-head with 3 other people.
right? Exactly. Each week.
All right, so the theme of the second half of the NFL season, to me, has been backups and replacements and survival mode in fantasy.
Damn right.
Nick Mullins, Josh Dobbs, Jake Browning, Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, and the list goes on and on and on and on.
It's just
Literally
a lot.
feels like there's 30 guys that we would never thought would touch the football this year are starting games.
Yeah, you get a lot of injuries.
So that has been a theme, and it's been a little bit frustrating, to say the least. But I do think this, Dustin. I think in Week 17,
Right.
when everything is on the line, the biggest names at quarterback that are healthy will show up and have the biggest games of the week. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Lamar, Stroud coming back, Brock Purdy bouncing back, Mahomes bouncing back, Justin Fields keeping it going. These
Lot
names
of
are
great
going to be
matchups.
the names that win.
Yeah, there's a lot of great matchups out there, and it just so happens that our big marquee guys have great matchups in this championship. If you have made it here, and if you've made it here, and it's not necessarily because of Brock Purdy or because Jalen Hurts has been having a good game or whatever, you have this chance at redemption.
It's like a reward.
It's like
My good guys are going to be good. All right. Fuck,
it's like
finally.
banana bread at work, bro. But yeah, let's talk about some names. Let's talk about, more importantly right now, Trav, I want to talk about some guys that I need you to tell me if we trust them. I need you and I to talk about, can we trust these guys? Starting off with our number one favorite little munchkin, Kyler Murray, against those Philadelphia Eagles. He's not been on fire the last 3 weeks. He's been meh.
He's not winning you weeks,
No,
but he's
just
not
a guy.
losing you weeks.
It's that rushing floor. He's still talented. The secondary is kind of one of those matchups, Trav, where he doesn't necessarily have the weapons to necessarily take care of or take advantage of a beat up or otherwise.
He's not throwing for 300 yards.
Probably not.
He hasn't yet. He's not going to with this group.
His number one weapon is a tight end. After that, it's a running back.
It's ugly, but if he doesn't run
sure.
for a touchdown
Yeah.
and he's not throwing for 300, there's a hard ceiling there. Yes, he'll have the floor of 15 points, but if I have two good options, if I have a Matthew Stafford and a Kyler, or a Purdy and a Kyler, I'm going with the other option. Tua at Baltimore.
Our favorite Hawaiian.
Tua, Alabama. If I can put him on the bench, I would do it. Jalen Waddle is not going to play. Ravens just killed Brock Purdy.
Tyreek to the moon.
Tyreek will eat, but he won't have 300 yards.
Tyreek
Tyreek will not.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to have 300 yards.
He's not Amari Cooper.
Damn right. I think that's
Baltimore.
something that everybody can agree on is that Tyreek Hill is not Amari Cooper.
Baltimore only gives up 17.3 points per game to quarterback on the road in Baltimore, coming off of a feasting of San Francisco. I am very nervous for Tua this week.
Yeah, this isn't exactly what you want if you have Tua on your roster and he's someone you have to start. Baltimore, like you said, not exactly giving up massive performances to the quarterback position, and Tua's not a runner, so you lose a weapon for Tua. Granted, his superpower just so happens to be Tyreek Hill, and that's he'll be playing. I'm not gonna say Tua is you can't start, obviously, because anytime you have that weapon you can, but I expect this to be more of a more on the ground game. I think a lot of Mostert. I think
Lower
Tua
scoring than we would like.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tua is gonna end up as quarterback 15 on the week.
Yuck. It's the championship.
Yeah, like I said, you can start him in a 2-quarterback super flex, but other than that, he's not going to be a guy this week that's going to win you the ring.
I agree. Somebody who's been absolutely in fuego as we like to say here.
Yeah, he's
Joe
the MVP of the
Flacco.
league. Absolutely.
Joe Flacco's been balling
Flack
his
goat.
dick off. How fitting.
That beard doesn't matter.
He's
His
letting
age?
that bitch fly. The New York Jets giving up the second fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season at just
Damn right.
16 a game. However, Joe Flacco was QB1 on the week last week. Travis said, I'm fading all Browns weapons. Houston shows up big time at home with a playoff spot on the line.
I believe what you said was Cleveland is in trouble in this.
Cleveland was in trouble. And then the game started and they were not in trouble. I hope you didn't listen to me because Njoku, Amari Cooper, Jerome Ford, Joe Flacco, everybody ate. Houston did not show up at home.
No.
But
Golly.
Dustin, does Joe Flacco versus the Jets defense go over or under 20?
Another one.
Yeah, he's going to go over 20.
Still in Joe Flacco or Tua?
This is a revenge game. I'm going Joe Flacco over Tua. Absolutely.
Joe Flacco or Kyler?
I'm going to go Joe Flacco.
All right. All right, we're firing up Joe fucking Flacco in week
If
17.
Amari Cooper's not playing, I need to
Here
kind
we
of
are.
revise. If Amari Cooper, the GOAT, the guy
He'll
who-
play.
Yeah, if he does play, look, I don't care. I'm still playing Joe Flacco. That he's too hot right now.
Well, no, you're not playing him if Amari's out.
Oh no, if he's out,
Okay.
then no. But if Amari Cooper plays, the GOAT wide receiver, then yeah, I think
The real Tyreek.
yeah, Jerry Rice reincarnate. Yeah, absolutely. Joe Flacco is a must start.
That was nuts. Amari Cooper led all receivers in targets last week. Not a shocker. 15.
Unbelievable.
One player in the NFL had more targets than Amari Cooper. Who was it?
One person had more targets. You know what? I actually don't even need to look this up. Are you talking about wide receivers or just players?
Only one player in the league
Oh, yeah,
had
Breece
more
Hall.
targets. Breece
Breece Hall.
Hall with 16 targets. If you survived what was the New York Jets this
The
year,
apocalypse. Yeah.
and you have Breece for these last 2 weeks and now going into 17, it's looking great. Breece Hall with
Yeah.
a 50 burger.
Goodness. Beautiful.
That'll transition us into running backs. Ramondre
Hell
Stevenson
yeah.
announced that he is on IR. He did not announce it himself. Or maybe
He actually
did.
came out. He actually delivered the press conference himself.
And then Rappaport said officially official and made it official.
oh, well,
which
then
is
yeah,
our
that's
favorite
concrete.
yeah.
Yeah.
notification every day is
Yeah.
here's the news, and then 10 minutes later it's now official.
Yep.
and then 10
just
minutes
as
later-
we reported it.
It's officially official. Zeke
Right.
Elliott versus Buffalo. RB32 week 15, RB10 last week.
Yeah.
He will be RB what this week versus Buffalo?
Oh, versus Buffalo. Man, Buffalo has been middle of the pack against running backs. Actually, I would take that back. They've been actually pretty incredible over the last 5 weeks.
They've gotten it together.
They've gotten it together. This is always a weird matchup. I mean, where's this game at? It's actually in Buffalo. So, yeah.
He'll touch the ball 15 times.
He's going to touch the ball 15 times. I don't think he is a top. I think he falls outside the top 20 running backs this week.
Okay. So he's flex, not in
Yeah,
the RB2
You can flex
category.
him, sure. If he has a touchdown, awesome. If not, he's going to be, I don't know, flex fodder. Who cares?
I agree. I think in PPR formats with no touchdown, you're looking at 10 points.
Probably, yeah.
Not
60 yards.
not 16 points.
No.
He has to get a score to go over 15.
Get in the end zone.
Zamir White, if Josh Jacobs misses, Dustin,
Ooh,
the Colts give up the third most fantasy points per game to running back at 22. Zamir White had 22 carries for 145 last week. If Jacobs is out, is he a must start?
Yes, I think so. Honestly, because if you had Jacobs, you probably need a running back, and Zamir White's probably that guy. I'm not going to start him as like a top 10, over the top 10 normal guys. But Zamir White in this week, he's going to be a running back too. And that offense, look, that awful stat that came out that in the first quarter, Aiden O'Connell had 62 pass yards, and then in the second, third, and fourth quarters, he had 0 passing yards. You can't win like that. Fortunately, the Colts do give up points.
Why can't you? If you can beat Mahomes like that.
You know what? I don't have an argument for that. That's fair.
They're not going to do that shit again. That was not
Sometimes football don't make sense. Yeah.
Zamir White or Devon Achane versus Dallas.
Devon Achane is actually facing Baltimore. So
you're right. Who's Dallas playing? Oh, Detroit.
Yeah, Dallas.
That was another tough
Detroit.
matchup.
Yeah, I would.
Baltimore I would say they're maybe harder than Dallas.
You asking me about Achane right now? I guess I'll go. If you need a safe floor, then go with Zamir White. If you're projected to lose,
what has this world come to?
If you're projecting to lose and you need that home run play, I would go with Achane. I would do it.
I will too. I can't play. I can't sit Devon Achane. It's one play and it's 70 yards to your house.
But like he gives
the ceiling is so high.
He can give you 4 points though. He can give you 4 points and it's like
That's true. All right. Last running back on the list is Gus Edwards. Mr. Touchdown or bust. Always has, always will be. It is who he is. The yardage totals are just not there. But in short yardage situations, Gus does get in the end zone. I will ask you to rank these guys in a rough 1 minute span here. We don't need to go on a rant.
Okay.
Gus Edwards, Jerome Ford, Jalen Warren. Who and why?
Okay, so Ford against the Jets, Gus against the Dolphins, and then Warren. Who's he playing? Who are the Steelers playing this week?
They play tomorrow, I think.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh no, they don't. No, that's
they play Seattle. They play Seattle this week. Okay, so on that, I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Gus. I'm gonna go just in that order: Gus, Ford, then Warren.
All right, Ford against the Jets.
Yes.
All right,
and then Warren against Seattle.
Gus Edwards. I mean, he's gone over 60 yards like 4 times on the year.
That's right.
And played in every game. So he has to fall in the end. He's not falling because he's a big motherfucker and he's running.
He looks good though when he's on the field. Look, they throw in the ball still. He has good burst, and this offense is going to move the ball. I like that. Look, all the offenses,
we're in on Gus.
Yeah, let's don't make it complicated.
You have 4 easy plays that we shouldn't think about twice.
Speaking of not making it complicated, Brock Purdy is an easy play against Washington. Everybody's a great play against Washington. It's almost like there's no one on the field keeping them from the end zone. They might as well not show up. So Brock Purdy, DeAndre Swift versus Arizona, going to be a smash matchup. Mike Evans versus New Orleans with no Lattimore. I like Mike Evans in that game. Baker has looked good. He trusts Mike. Congratulations to Mike on going another season, 1,000+ yards, and then of course DK Metcalf.
What is that? 19 in a row?
34 actually, 34 seasons in a row.
That's impressive
for Mike Evans, 1,000 yards, and DK Metcalf versus Pittsburgh. I think DK. Look, Pittsburgh actually gives up a ton of yards to the tight end, big body guys. There's not a good notable tight end for the Seahawks. And
not
DK
a Noah
Metcalf,
fan?
Nah, I mean he'll have like 4 targets for 36 yards. Go Noah. But
can't play him.
DK Metcalf, you can't stop that man, and especially with Minka banged up in that secondary, not looking good. I'm all in on DK.
All right, I love the list. The next segment is called "Give Me One Reason." I'm not gonna sing the song. I forgot who it's by.
Just give me a reason.
No, I wasn't thinking that. It was "Give Me One Reason to Stay."
Oh. Okay.
Give me one reason to stay here.
Oh,
and I'll turn right. Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
New York Jets versus probably would have been better at Wonderwall. That was atrocious. New York Jets versus Cleveland. Dustin, I will phrase the question. You answer the question.
Love it.
The Jets beat Cleveland because blank.
The Jets beat Cleveland because Breece Hall gets a lot of opportunities and the Browns turn the ball over.
All right. And Cleveland beats New York if and because of?
Cleveland beats New York because Flacco completes deep balls, and New York realizes that they still don't have a quarterback and can't get past the 50.
I like Cleveland in this one as well.
Yep.
Detroit beats Dallas if what?
Much like the previous game we just talked about, if Dak is turnover prone and the passing game cannot get going. Detroit has been popular to throw against, but if they can't get it going in this game, the running game should be shut down by Detroit.
I think Detroit wins if and only if they somehow contain CeeDee Lamb. At home, back in Dallas, I think the Cowboys get a very message-sending win versus Detroit.
Interesting.
Dallas beats Detroit if what, Dustin?
Dallas beats Detroit if CeeDee Lamb gets going. And also, if for some reason the running game doesn't get going for Detroit. I don't trust Jared Goff to bring his team back.
I don't either. Not against Dallas. New England beats Buffalo if what? Here's I was gonna say here's a caveat. These don't have to be so realistic. If you want to throw some personality in here and tell me what has to happen, because you genuinely think there's no shot, you can get creative. This is what you do.
I think New England wins this game if we get vintage Zeke. Zeke goes and gives us a couple of crazy hurdles and some stiff arms dudes into hell. I think there's a chance, if we just get vintage Belichick in here, just absolutely mauling Josh Allen, absolutely. Other than that, not going to happen.
How about 5 feet of snow the day before the game and during the game?
Sure. Now
we got a shot.
5 feet of snow, and then the refs
I would
also
barely
don't make
see
it to the
over
game.
That. I may not see over the snow if it's 5 feet.
It's
you'll
tough.
see the tops of my shoulder pads in my helmet.
Yep.
But as far as my eye level, I guess my eye level is probably 5'5". So maybe I'd see 2 inches over the snow.
Okay.
Buffalo smashes New England this week, and I think it's because Stephon Diggs gets right finally. But I think James Cook bounces back and has another 20-point night.
All right.
By night, I mean noon. By night, I mean at 12 noon.
Yeah, he has a big noon. This game. Yep.
Atlanta beats Chicago if
Arthur Smith retires. That is how they win the game. That's honestly the game plan.
You want to win? Fire me.
Fire me, please. I like the Falcons win this game if Arthur Blank turns on the TV, fires him mid-game, and decides, I'll coach the team. That's how they win.
They're not beating Chicago.
No, I don't think so.
The Bears are hot. Justin Fields is Timothy.
So hot.
So hot.
So hot.
The Bears win because of what?
Oh, God, just a sexy man. Just a beautiful, beautiful specimen at quarterback.
Over under 25.
No, he's definitely younger than 25.
Points.
For sure. Yeah, I'll take the points for sure. Yeah, he's definitely younger. But Justin Fields
over. I want some confidence from the Bears fan.
Okay.
I have a lot of Justin Fields. I need to know when I go to sleep tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here's tonight.
The thing. Justin Fields is from Georgia. Okay, he's and it's in Chicago. But he's from Georgia. He wants to put it on these Falcons for passing him up in the draft. Yeah, he's going to go off in this game. I have no doubt about it.
All right, we need to go quicker with these.
Sure.
One reason I will keep my jargon to myself.
Bring it.
Vegas beats the Colts if what?
They complete any passing yards in the second through fourth quarter.
Okay, Indy beats Vegas if what?
They score more points than the Raiders, for sure.
Okay. I think the Rams beat the Giants if Matthew Stafford does not get hurt in the first quarter.
Okay.
If he's healthy, and even if Cooper Kupp were to go out or Puka were to go out, if Stafford is healthy, they win. Yeah. The Giants can beat the Rams if
Darren
Saquon
Waller-
Barkley, I'll say the Rams are actually, I think, the number one run D as far as fantasy points allowed to running backs. If Saquon Barkley is bottled up, they have no shot. If Saquon can go for another 20, 25-point day, this comes down to the fourth quarter.
For sure. I agree.
Expectations for Tyrod, because there's some super flex leagues where I'm having to start Tyrod.
I like Tyrod in this game.
I think 17 to 20 is a fair line.
I was going to say 15 to 18, but sure.
That's pretty close, Dustin.
Yeah.
Half of the window I gave is the same window you gave.
Wow. I guess we're like one big old friendship Venn diagram. That makes me feel nice. This is what the holiday season's about.
Don't get sappy on me, Dustin.
Brings us together. All right, Arizona.
They're not winning this game. But if they were to win this game, how are they going to do it?
Marcus Mariota plays. That's how they win.
Philadelphia wins in large part because of what?
The running game, for sure.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah,
Okay.
He'll be the reason they win.
Saints and Tampa. This is a real toss-up. I think Tampa wins this game. I think they do it because of Mike Evans.
This feels like such a trap game almost, where it's like Tampa Bay's been hot. They're coming in. They're leading the division, and then for whatever reason, this just feels like a Derek Carr. What the fuck are you doing winning this game to muddy up this division, and New Orleans becomes first place? So
do we see John Cena in this one? Can you even see him?
You really can't.
And his name is John Cena.
Taysom Hill has been way too quiet.
Yeah,
the last
that's because
month.
he's 56 years old.
He didn't.
But yeah,
you said something for a minor rant here. You said something on Sunday that was, or maybe 2 Sundays ago. We need to start talking about aging of players in season.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know about that because if somebody like Eckler, he went, I think he was a top 5 running back 3 weeks in a row. 2 weeks later, the clip comes out of him running up the sideline, which ended up being too much tape on his ankle, according to him. Buy it if you want. He didn't just get slow and fall off after 3 top 5 weeks. 10 days later, it doesn't happen that fast. So by in-season aging, what do you mean? You would have said this about Cooper Kupp, and then he came back and had 2 or 3 top 5 games down the stretch.
It was more of a curiosity point for me because, you watch some games and you see Eckler have a couple games where you're like, man, he looks pretty banged up, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's where it's like, how do players age? We know that, like, okay, going from season to season, guys going from his 27 to 28-year-old season, there could be a fall off. We saw it with, it always comes back to mind of David Johnson, looking rough, but then there was that one play where he just strung out a run to the sidelines and just could not get around the edge anymore. It's kind of like that where it's like, okay, I'm more interested to see how these players age, not just when. Is it more of a, okay, this guy can't get around the edge anymore, so it's got to be more up the gut runs, and then you're talking about no more explosive plays, even when he's catching balls. So I'm kind of more interested in seeing how Eckler does in terms of. We talk about Eckler, but you mentioned Cooper Kupp as well. Not to go on a big diatribe about this point.
Or Zeke.
Sure.
People last year at the end of Dallas' season were saying, Zeke is done. Untouchable. And now he was top 15 running back.
Well, sure.
He was RB10 this past week at the end of another season.
Yeah, he's getting a ton of volume. And that
there's too many factors, I think, to say people age that quick. Like, I think there's more examples of vets producing longer than the dynasty community wants to give them credit for or project them to than there are the Julio Jones that it's all of a sudden it's gone. Julio also left Matt Ryan, changed teams, went to a different situation,
joined
Tennessee,
AARP,
joined a running team,
Yeah.
where they just give it to Derek. Like, there's other things that are going to affect it other than just he got old.
Well, that's what I want to look at. I want to take a look and see how these guys age. What do their efficiency numbers look like? As the season goes on, and maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. It's just a question to ask.
All right, Nicholas Ferguson, Nick to you, says he loves you, but he should have listened to Travis last week. On what? I don't recall.
Goff over Lawrence is what he means.
Who balled out?
Well, Goff had a really good game, and T-Law got beat the hell up. So
Common theme for the Jags. We'll get to the Jaguars here in a little bit.
we sure will.
I think that we move on from the Give Me One Reason segment.
Sure. Let's
Because
talk
there's
about some
too many
defensive
games
streamers.
left, and we want to talk players here. And by players, I mean
Yes.
defensive and special teams
Yeah,
streamers
hell
of
yeah.
the week.
Let's talk the defensive players.
We have so many
And
players to talk
as
about.
a unit, the unit players, Las
All
Vegas.
5% of our listeners that have a defense still in their home league.
yeah. Let's do
You
it.
should be streaming one of these three if you don't have a good defense. Las Vegas has 12, 25, and 21 over the last 3 weeks. I picked them up yesterday. They were just sitting out there. Just go check. They get to face Minshew this week. Vegas is playing like rabid dogs. They're coming after the quarterback. Pick sixes, fumbles, sacks. Vegas is going to produce defensive fantasy points. Number 2, Kansas City. I think they're going to be livid. Very, very angry Chiefs team at home versus Jake Browning without Jamar Chase again. Yes, you're starting T. Higgins. You're probably having to flex or start mixing at your RB2 and hope for the touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think Kansas City gets after him.
Yeah.
Finally, your Chicago Bears. Defense over the last 3 months. Last 4 weeks. Over the last month, they've had 14, 14, 17,
Yeah.
and 3. But at home, having won 3 of the last 4, playing like they're having fun, I think the Bears get after the Falcons, whether it's Ritter or Heineke this week.
Yeah. I don't care who was behind center. It don't matter. Chicago's winning that game. And there's gonna be turnovers. I believe it.
If they
it
win
sucks.
out, like if you're a Bears fan
Yeah.
and you guys win the rest of your games, how many? 2 games left?
2 games left.
And you win 5 of the last 6.
Mm-hmm.
How do you just move on from Justin Fields? How do you end 5 of 6? Like, he was hurt for a month.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a huge talking point all season.
It really is.
If Carolina loses these last 2 games, boy oh boy, I don't know what to say.
I
Too
believe
early,
in
too
him.
early to be tilting so hard.
It
already.
is too early.
But man, yeah, it's going to be rough for sure.
All right, speaking of players, this is
Yeah.
our last big picks segment of 2023.
Unbelievable. We're already here.
I think that our hit rate is about 50%, like most things in fantasy football. We're really just flipping a coin and talking about why it's going to flip. I'll start us off. Quarterback for me, big pick of the week, is Brock Purdy. San Francisco is going to bounce back. I think they have 40 points as a team this week. A lot of them from the offense, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns from the defense. I have a bold call. Actually, I have a bold call on all 4 of these picks. Brock is going to throw for 4 touchdowns. Washington is giving up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks per game at 25 points a game. In steps San Francisco with all the weapons. Brock trying to get his confidence back. He seems like a guy who wouldn't lose it, but it's time to say, like, hey, we're fine. Brock's still him. Here's 4 touchdowns for y'all.
Yeah. For
Eric
sure.
trying to tell me Easton Stick, big pick. He's trying to trade me Easton Stick. If you have Heineke, are you trading a future second for Easton Stick as a QB2?
No, there's no chance in hell.
You just roll with Heineke, right? Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
I have the support of my co-host. No deal.
Yeah. My big pick of the week is Ryan Tannehill
What the fuck?
against the Houston Texans.
Oh, no. We're going to do one of these weeks again, huh?
Here we go.
Where we look at the ranks and say, this guy's going to suck. Let's make him a big pick.
Damn right.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Look, he's had a terrible season. Hold on, I gotta compose myself.
We're ending 2023 big picks with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. All right.
I feel good about this one. Point blank, you don't need to be a good quarterback to play well against the Texans, okay? And Tennessee was able to play well against them. It's mostly because the Texans give up a lot of points to the quarterback, and
except for
Tannehill,
Tennessee quarterbacks. 2 weeks ago when Will Levis didn't throw for 200 yards in an overtime game.
Well, 2 weeks ago, they actually gave up 26 points to the quarterback position. Thank you very much.
Who did?
The Texans against the Tennessee Titans. That's what they did.
They gave up 26 points to a quarterback?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. Did Levis run for some?
Let me look.
He
up
threw
these
for
stats.
under 200 yards.
Let me look it up because now I've got it right here in front of me.
Maybe I'm way wrong. Maybe my brain is exhausted, but I don't think he threw for 200 yards against Houston. I think it was as close as you can possibly get.
I think you're wrong. Oh, yeah, he had 25 yards rushing and a touchdown. That's what it was.
What did he throw for?
He threw for a football game. That's what he threw for. But this is really entertaining stuff. 199.
Was it 199? That's as close as 200 as you can get. I'm just going to pat my brain here.
Yeah,
because I'm sick, and I know what Will Levis threw for 2 weeks ago.
I was going to say, I'm like, this man has a thing in for Will Levis. I'm over here getting assassinated.
So you're telling me Ryan Tannehill is going to run all over Houston because it's not going through the air?
I think they'll be able to complete it through the air too.
Finger roll Tanny.
I feel like this is a vintage Tannehill game. That's just my 2 cents. I feel like this is the week for it.
Is there a disclaimer that this could go horribly wrong?
As with all of my picks,
as with all of mine
that
too.
Disclaimer. This could
make
be
Brock
good.
Purdy your big pick and watch him throw 4 interceptions.
It could also be catastrophic.
Running back.
Let's talk running backs.
One of your losing sucks all-time favorite running backs, Travis Etienne. The Panthers give up the 4th most points per game to running backs, over 21 points a week. Dustin, I did some digging on Etienne and the correlation of what the fuck's going on with Jacksonville.
Perfect.
Because they have lost a lot of games recently. Weeks 1 through 8, Travis Etienne got 18.9 carries per game.
Beautiful.
The Jags were 6-2. And then they had a bye week. And then they came out of the bye week, and from weeks 10 to 16, they gave him 12 carries a game, and they went 2-5. So we'll give it to Etienne 6 times less a game, and we'll flip our record, and now we fucking suck. So do they give Etienne the ball 18 to 20 times and beat Carolina? I do think that will happen. Big time get right game. My call is 120 total yards and 1 to 2 touchdowns. Etienne's a top 5 running back this week.
That's not surprising. That's really not surprising. Etienne, I mean, yeah, he's kind of not been as touchdown happy the last handful of games, but I think he gets back. I think this is a game where they're going to need to rely on him. My big pick at the running back position is none other than James Conner. I know, look, it's a scary matchup. It's Philly, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Philly has not been this dominant force against running backs that we think they have been these last few weeks. Over the last 5 games, they've actually given up some pretty usable weeks for the running back position. Listen to some of these performances as I list them off here. You had Dallas go for 24 points to the running back position, Seattle 21. Saquon went for 20, or the running back position for the Giants went for 22 points. James Conner last week was the running back 5. So I think he's one of the rare guys in the league that are kind of game script proof, where it's if they're in the game, they're going to run it with him, throw it to him. If they're trailing, he gets a lot of dump off passes. And like we mentioned before, it's kind of Trey McBride and no one else, because Hollywood Brown's not really a factor right now. James Conner, I really like him in this game. He's a sneaky play, and I think he's going to easily be a top 10 play.
Conner is so much better as a player than I ever give him credit for.
Yeah.
when I see him on the opposing team's roster, it does not scare me. I'm like, oh yes, they have Connor. And then he puts up 17 over and over again. Like, he just finds a way to produce points.
Yeah.
I wish I had more of James Conner. He's just one of those guys that I'm like, it doesn't do it for me. Drunk on Broad podcast. We do a little fantasy segment for them each week, almost every week. Sometimes I miss it. But for the most part, we're there. And they have a great show, highly entertaining. They talk all Philly sports, but predominantly the Eagles during football season. I appreciate our friendship with them. I am in their home league and am in the finals. The 1 seed has not been knocked off yet. So we'll see if we get... I did lose Hawkinson there, so we'll see if Kincaid can get back on track and help me out. But thanks for coming by, Drunk on Broad. All right, I'm moving on to wide receiver. And
Let's do it.
This next 5 minutes is going to be one of my favorite 5 minutes of the season.
Okay.
Rashee Rice.
Oh, here we go.
Out of SMU, literally 0.2 miles from where I sit right now, is the stadium that Rashee Rice built.
Wow.
Let's talk about Rashee Rice. Dustin, who has more red zone targets than Rashee Rice this year? Three names in the NFL at receiver. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Wow.
That's the end of the list.
Rashee's better than all of them.
He's getting red zone targets at an elite level with Travis Kelce on the field.
Yeah.
It's not like Kelce's missed time and he's the guy. He's still been the number 2, and he's still getting looked at. Follow-up question. Who has more red zone touchdowns than Rashee Rice this season through 16 weeks? The list doesn't exist because nobody has more red zone touchdowns than Rashee Rice at 5.
Oh, boy.
I hear all offseason about, he's got targets, but they're not valuable targets. And people want to chop up numbers about, well, he's not getting looked at in the end zone, the red zone. This guy is. He is the next CeeDee Lamb. I called it a month ago. Since then, he's the targets I think he's like number 6 or 7 in targets over the last 7 weeks. He's getting absolutely locked in on by pretty good quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's okay. We
said, I don't think Travis Kelce's done, but we did say that eventually when that slowdown happens, there needs to be a new guy. Rashee Rice is that guy. I would still be trying to buy in Dynasty. I know people are terrified of, they're going to add somebody who runs better routes.
Yeah.
He's him. Maybe his routes get better, but he has everything that they want. And the trust of Patrick Mahomes being the most important. The numbers back it up. Targets, end zone targets, red zone touchdowns. Okay. Rashee Rice, my big pick of the week. I think the Chiefs put up a very clean and precise offensive attack this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I might buy a Rashee Rice jersey out this year.
I think you should. I think
I have to.
Put it up on the wall. My wide receiver big pick of the week is Chris Olave against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Quite frankly, I mean, it's a lot at stake here. Division, I mean, granted, it's right now they're below 500. These Saints are, but they're battling for first place, and that's what matters. Tampa Bay all season long, though, has let wide receivers do pretty much what they want. 7 of the last 10 games for Tampa Bay, they've allowed other teams' wide receivers to score 20-plus points, including the last 3 games. So, especially with Chris Olave coming off a 13-target, 123-yard performance, and that's without a touchdown. I expect this one to be bearing a little bit more fruit for Chris Olave. Like I said, I think this is just a weird Derek Carr, really efficient game. So, Chris Olave, going to be my big pick.
Do you think the Saints find a way to win this game?
I do.
Oh, man. I could see it.
Yeah.
Chris Olave this past week, it was one of the only games I watched, but it felt like every time he was targeted, he was wide ass open.
Right.
I don't know if he's just putting people in a blender or they're designing things beautifully, but like there was a 10-yard bubble around him all game. Like Cooper Cup like. Chris Olave is nice.
He is. Very nice.
Tight end, don't know if you heard of this guy, but he's up and coming. The soon-to-be 35-year-old Travis Kelce. Wow, what a hard pick for a big pick of the week.
Bold move.
10-plus catches, 2 touchdowns, and at least 10 to 12 points between Kelce and any other tight end this week is the call. I think this is a take the horse cock out of your football pants, lay it on the table, and let the world know I'm still him. Watch me and Rashid combine for 4 touchdowns this week. I think the Chiefs go ham this week. I think the Chiefs and the Niners.
Okay.
If your fantasy team has a couple of Chiefs and a couple of Niners on it, congratulations on your championship. You played it well.
Holy cow.
It's like that.
All right. I can appreciate it. My big pick of the week is Travis Kelce's penis. I'm just kidding. I kid. I say jokes.
Kind of.
My big pick of the week at the tight end position is none other than Darren Waller of the New York Giants. He's facing the Rams. We kind of talked about him a little bit brief earlier, but the game's in New York, and Tyrod is going to be preparing as the starter all week. In the 2 games, Tyrod was his quarterback. He saw a total of 15 targets for 141 yards and a touchdown. So I like this matchup. The Rams have given up 20-plus points to the tight end in 3 of their last 5, and the Rams have been also terrible against fantasy wide receivers. And since the Giants don't have any fantasy wide receivers, I think this is the Darren Waller show. So
I like the call.
Stars are aligning, and I think Darren Waller smash spot here.
Top 3 week incoming.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it.
For sure.
That's it.
It's kind of what is it? Is it though?
We can hang out if people have a couple questions. We have a couple extra minutes.
I'm here for the questions. I'm here.
Trade questions, dynasty questions, start sit questions, personal questions about Dustin's life.
Yeah. Ask me anything you want about my life. It's an open book.
Dustin, while we wait for a couple questions that may or may not be showing up.
Sure.
What is 1 or 2 of your favorite moments of this fantasy season?
Of the fantasy season. You know, that's a good question. As the comments roll in, I think it's been just the that's I don't want to just do the homer thing, but I think watching some of I love the rookies coming in. I like watching the story arcs. I love the what ifs. You know, I like
I got a question in here.
Anthony Richardson is fun to watch. I'm excited to watch him next year. But just, it's these alternate like realities that we find ourselves in. It's like these microcosmic, like Aaron Rodgers missing the season. You don't ever see something like this. It's like absolute chaos,
So you're liking what happened with all the quarterback injuries?
Yeah, it makes things interesting. It just, other than like, supporting the narrative that like, yes, it's important to have great backups and, really develop quarterbacks like this. It's, I like perfect example, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They should be a 4-win team with the kind of luck and talent that they've had, but somehow because of the coaching and the strong nature of that team, they're in it. So it's just, I don't know, it's stuff like that I like to see.
I like it. We have some questions here.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh or Chicago defense? I think they're both going to say Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
At home, Atlanta's quarterback situation's in flux, regardless of who starts.
You're gonna have turnovers. Bob asks, "What flavor Waterloo?" Bob, I'm rocking a peach.
Peach is good.
Peach is good.
They have an orange vanilla which I didn't think would be great.
It
And
is
I
good.
tried it. It is so good.
The only Waterloo that I don't like is the spiced apple. I don't like the spiced apple one.
I couldn't get behind the blackberry lemon either.
Oh, that's my favorite.
It was like
Blackberry
my taste
lemonade?
buds were expecting something else. I don't know what it was. Maybe I need a second try.
Okay. Bob, if Justin Fields goes to
Atlanta.
Atlanta, what does it do to Pitts and Bijan value? I think it only has to help. I think Justin Fields would be head and shoulders above what they have right now, and he runs the ball. And Arthur Smith, if he's there, loves to run the ball. Jacob,
He has shown that he likes tight end.
Yeah,
He and Cole Kmet have a great rapport.
yeah.
Real question
sure.
from me is, what does it do to Jonnu?
Oh goodness. That's not something that anybody ever has to worry about. Who?
Is
Why
he
do we
leaving
care?
there?
No, he's probably under contract, but like who? Why?
Didn't
Why
he get a massive deal
I don't know if it's massive.
with New England?
Oh yeah, with New England, yes. It was like I don't know, it was like
40
3
something?
years, $40-something million. I'm like, okay. That was when Jonnu was going to be like the cream of the crop at the time. It was the Jonnu Hunter Henry class, and they took them both.
It was 4 years, $50 million.
Jesus.
And then they also signed Gesicki and said, was it Gesicki or Henry?
It was Henry.
Henry, okay.
Yeah.
And then this year signed Gesicki, and he doesn't even see it.
Right.
Look.
Jacob asked Ridley or Lockett half-point PPR.
This is not a tough decision, Jacob. You know the answer to this.
Yeah, I'd go Lockett
Why?
because I don't think T-Law plays.
I didn't know that. If he doesn't
yeah.
play, maybe we have a discussion here. Calvin Ridley
think-
just went off.
He did.
If you have somebody go for 26 or whatever he went for, and then
Yeah.
you bench them,
For sure.
you got some nuts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I have any that I need your help with.
I mean, if you want, you could just sit all your good players in our championship matchup if that's something that you're into.
What would you say is a successful return? If you're in 14 championship games,
Okay.
what would you be happy with come next Tuesday or Monday? Because there's not a Monday night game this week.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Sunday's it.
Okay. Wow. I would say if you have like 5 championships, I feel like you're doing really well.
If you win 5 of 14,
Yeah, winning. Like I'd say if you're winning over a quarter of your leagues, then sure, that's awesome.
yes. At the beginning of the season, yes. But now
Yeah.
that 14 of them are playing
Yeah.
this weekend, if I win 1 out of every 3,
I mean, granted, if you're there and
what?
What do you want me to say? If you win half of them, it's awesome. Like
Half would be average. I feel like I would be upset if I don't win 10 out of 14.
oh wow, okay, that's
Not like mad,
Wow.
but like
Sure.
I feel like I will have left some meat on the bone.
oh for sure. I'm saying
7, I'll be content. Anything
I'm
less
thinking-
than 7 is a disaster.
I think if you win 5 and you cover you win enough to just cover your leagues.
There's
Yeah,
only me and one other person. It's not like I'm playing next year's where I'm going against 3 people and you need to
Right.
win 5.
Right.
It's me versus one other guy. If I win 30% of them, don't tell me you'd be
Okay.
happy. Losing sucks.
That's true. Okay. All right.
Going into the year, yes, you win 25% of the leagues, you did great.
Yeah. I feel like my expectations have been beat so low now. I'm just like, hey, if we get a participation trophy, it's great. We can still put that on the shelf.
If I could just get one with a little soccer player on top, the really short ones.
Yeah. Oh shit.
But when you look back at it, like 27 leagues,
Yeah.
like at this point, I'm saying
It's
if I
so
win
many.
8, if I win 8 to 10, I'll be really happy. If I win 7 of them, like
Yeah.
that's 25%.
That is.
So,
That
but
is.
knowing that I'm in 14, like the expectations
Right.
and the hopes change. It's been a very,
it.
very lucky year. Like my
Yeah.
injury luck has been insane.
Mine has also been insane, but the other way.
Yeah. Especially in the home league. You lost.
Yeah.
When you lose JJ for the time that you did.
You lose Fields. What do you do?
It gets out of hand.
What do you do? Lost Richardson. Yeah. So, you know what? We finally got here. You know, it's championship weekend. This is awesome. Get some time to reflect on the season. You know, gear up for the off-season mode. You know, rookie drafts are right around the corner,
everybody.
man.
We really do appreciate everybody that's listened even to 1 second of a show. We do this for fun. We do not make money on this at this point in our careers. But we do have a lot of fun. And what makes it fun is talking football and talking shit with y'all. So I really appreciate it. You could be doing anything else right now, but you chose to listen to a few seconds of Losing Sucks Incorporated.
That's right. I appreciate it, man. This has been awesome. Thank y'all for listening. We'll still be around. Make sure you're shooting us messages. Follow us on Twitter at Losing Sucks. I guess until next time, man.
Good luck, people.
Season 3.
Go get that shit.
In the books. Win some rings. Now more than ever. Losing sucks. Don't do it.